Welcome to AM Plus program from ABN TV Houston from its correspondent office, Oshogbo, Osun State, Nigeria. AM Plus is the programs where we'll be showcasing our culture heritage is embedded with news highlights and social varieties. I'm not the only one who will be anchoring the program. And today with me, I have in the studio Ayo. Just greet people.
Yes, good morning, my people. I'm Ayobami Salako.
My name is Bukola Olushola, and our producer is Mr. Paul Arowolo. And without wasting much of our time, let's go straight to newspaper review. With me, I have the Punch newspaper. The Punch newspaper is a daily newspaper. Is a Nigerian daily newspaper. Hayo, which one is in your?
I have Tuesday Tribune paper with me here.
Okay, on our daily newspaper, we'll be bringing to you the top stories that make the headline news on our daily newspaper. Without wasting much of our time, let me start with this story. On Tuesday, the Punch newspaper, Autumn says headmen must obtain permits.
And on Tuesday Tribune paper, Buhari to Benue elders, in the name of God, accommodate your countrymen. Page 2 of Nigerian Tribune.
Still on the front page of the Punch, tight security as Buhari Osinbajo honor fallen heroes is on page 16 of the Punch newspaper.
And on the same front page of Nigerian Tribune, gas explosion claims 7, injure 17 in Badagry, Magodo, page 30 of Nigerian Tribune.
Also on page 2 of the Punch newspaper, Lagos auto parts dealers dies in SARS custody.
And on page 7 of Tuesday Nigerian Tribune, Ekiti bad Fayemi, ex-commissioner from holding public office for 10 years.
Also on page 6 of Tuesday, the Punch newspaper, the governor, Lagos State, Akinwumi Ambode, has called on Nigerians to always give peace a chance and embrace dialogue in conflict resolution.
And on the page 34 of Tuesday Nigerian Tribune, NUT directs member not to resume school in state-owned salaries.
Still on the Punch newspaper, on page 9, the Benue State Governor Samuel Ortom on Monday insisted that the state did not have land for establishment of cattle colonies as being proposed by the federal government.
And on the page 7 of Nigerian Tribune, court slates January 29 to hear suit seeking to unseat Kebbi Governor Magudu.
Still on the Punch newspaper, on page 10, the police in Abuja have arrested a woman, Aisha Bello, 37 years, for allegedly impersonating the wife of the president, Mrs. Aisha Buhari.
Page 14 of Tuesday Nigerian Tribune, Governor Ajimobi beware of quack consultants. For almost 2 decades, the civil service in Oyo State has been immersed in deep controversies over alleged use of non-possession of additional certificates to stay on the job. The full story is on page 14 of Nigerian Tribune.
Also, the details of this story is on page 14 of Tuesday, the Punch newspaper. Corruption, nepotism may lead to anarchy, says the chairman of the Arewa Consultative Forum, Alhaji Ibrahim Komasi.
This story is from page 18 of Nigerian Tribune. Nigerian Legion solicits Oba of Benin's support. The Edo State chapter of the Nigerian Legion has solicited the support of Akolopolo Ewuare II in acquiring the forest reserve in Oriamo and other boundary areas for farming purpose. Page 18 of Nigerian Tribune.
Also, the full details of this story is on page 16 of the Punch newspaper. The member representing Takumwan constituency in Taraba State House of Assembly, OCEB, who was abducted by unknown gunmen 2 weeks ago, was on Tuesday afternoon found dead.
And on page 20 of Nigerian Tribune, tradition meets glamour as Gani Adams is installed Ààrẹ Ọ̀nà Kakanfò.
And on page 37 of the Punch newspaper, JAMB prosecute 2 of UTME registration fraud.
And on page 36 of Tuesday Nigerian Tribune, NYSC moved Taraba Benue Corps member to Kogi for orientation camp. Still on the same paper, page 32 of Nigerian Tribune, Osun State government sent students home over 7,710 naira. Thousands of students in public school in Osun State were on Monday sent home over failure to pay tuition of 7,710 naira for the second term, which commenced on January 7. Nigerian Tribune.
As I said earlier on, newspaper review is a place where we review our daily newspaper. And on Thursday, Nigerian Tribune, gunmen kill 2 policemen, abduct Canadian American in Kaduna. This full details of this story is on page 31 of the Nigerian Tribune.
And the paper with me here is the Punch paper, Thursday Punch paper. And on the page 4 of this paper, kidnapper kills 2 policemen, abduct 4 expatriates. Page 4 of the Punch.
And on the front page, still on the front page of Thursday Nigerian newspaper, Senate uncovers excess petrol importation worth 784 billion naira.
And on the same front page of the Punch, Constitution Amendment tops agenda as government meets in Abuja. Full details is on page 12 of Thursday Punch paper.
On page 5 of Thursday Nigerian Tribune newspaper, Air Force destroys emerging insurgents. Air Force destroys emerging insurgents vehicle workshop.
And this story is coming up from page 7 of Thursday Punch paper. Axemen destroy ex-Naval chiefs farm. Taraba reject cattle colony.
On page 6 of Nigerian Tribune newspaper, Afenifere Ohanase Ndigbo, Middle Belt leaders have revived the call for the restructuring of Nigeria. The leaders made the call when they visited the Benue State Governor Samuel Ortom to commiserate with him over the recent killings and mass burial of 73 people.
And on the page 4 and 5 of the Thursday Punch paper, Custom shoots man to death in Lagos, injured 3.
On page 7 of Nigerian Tribune, the Niger Delta Avengers are threatening to, in a few days, resume attack on oil gas facilities far into deep sea operations unless the country is restructured by the present government.
And on page 10 of Thursday Punch paper, Communications Minister attacks Ajimobi in letter to Buhari Oyegun.
Still on the page 7 of Nigerian Tribune, 12 killed, 48 wounded in Maiduguri suicide bomb attack, says police.
And on page 10 of Thursday Punch paper, 264 candidates will return unopposed in Osun local government polls, OSEC boss.
The full details of this story is on page 9 of Thursday Nigerian Tribune. INEC begins village-to-village issuance of permanent voters card in Zamfara.
And on page 11 of Thursday Punch paper, Fayose summons peace meeting, warns Fulani TIVS against reprisal.
On page 20 of Thursday Nigerian Tribune newspaper, Ambode, Lagos State Governor Mr. Akinwumi Ambode inaugurates new model college, 20 classroom block in Ikorodu.
And on page 16 of Thursday Punch paper, Rex summon Buratai, orders over disputed Delta land. And on the same page of Thursday Punch paper, 4 suicide bomber hit Borno, killed 10, injured 65.
I sold 180 pieces of ammunition to a friend in error. It's not me, a suspect. The full details of this story is on page 31 of Thursday Nigerian Tribune.
INEC's readiness for 2019 polls. With 402 days to kick off of 2019 general election, the Independent National Electoral Commission released its timetable. The full story is coming up on page 18 of Thursday Punch paper.
Also on page 33 of the Thursday Nigerian Tribune, Sokoto government awards contract for statewide accelerated exploration project, says commissioner.
This is another paper for review today. With me here is Friday Nigerian Tribune, and on the front page, Osinbajo, 9 governors from Committee on Herdsmen Killing, page 236 of Friday Nigerian Tribune.
I have Friday Vanguard newspaper with me here, and on the front page of Vanguard newspaper, and on the front page of the paper, herdsmen killings, sultans indict federal government security agencies.
Still on the front page of Friday Nigerian Tribune, Muslim demand deputy governorship slots in Ekiti. And on the front page of Nigerian Tribune, Kaduna teacher call off strike, page 32.
On page 4 of the Vanguard newspaper, 2019, Buhari warns against electoral violence.
This story is coming up from page 29 of Friday Nigerian Tribune. Army demands additional 18 billion naira to tackle terrorism, vandalism.
Abandoned baby dies in Port Harcourt, refuse dump. This story is on page 6 of the Vanguard newspaper.
This story is coming up on page 2 of Friday Nigerian Tribune. Suspected herdsmen killed pregnant woman in Ekiti community.
Similarly, on the news related to the one you brought, pregnant woman shot by customs officer in Ogun, hospitalized, is on page 7 of Vanguard newspaper.
And on page 3 of Nigerian Tribune, police confirm military groups armed with AK-47 in Benue.
On page 9 of Vanguard newspaper, Dogara urges Buhari to sign PIGB, says passage landmark achievements.
And this story is coming from page 6 of Friday Nigerian Tribune. Ogun moves to avert axemen farmer clashes.
Still on the page 9 of the Vanguard newspaper, produce evidence of 1.4 billion naira IDR payment. Reps tells Dambazal.
And on page 6 of Friday Nigerian Tribune, Northern Elder Forum demand the civil step to restore security.
We won't allow cattle colonies, said Southwest youths. The full details of this story, is on page 11 of the Vanguard newspaper.
And on page 8 of Friday Nigerian Tribune, we need more employers to request for court member NYSC.
Lassa fever, Ebonyi shuts down schools for 7 days, is on page 15 of the Vanguard newspaper.
Federal government sue JP Morgan for $875 million over Malabo oil deal, page 11 of Friday Nigerian Tribune.
Street killers, S-men as terrorists, PFN tells federal government, is on page 14 of the Vanguard newspaper.
And this last story is coming from page 18 of Friday Nigerian Tribune. Handle tension in Benue, order with care, Akinola tells federal government. The Ààrẹ Mùsùlùmí of Yoruba land, Alhaji Dawood Akinola, has advised the federal government to handle various communal and intertribal clashes in the northern part of the country with care.
Similarly, on a related development, on killings, defend yourselves, cleric tells Nigerians, is on page 34 of Friday Vanguard newspaper. And it's on this final note we wrap it up on newspaper review for today. Ayo.
Yes, Buki, on our social variety today, what is our story for today?
Okay, we went around the town. The topic before me today is divorcement. How people just the separation between the couples.
And what used to cause it?
We went around the town. We know the views, the opinion of the people. So don't go away. Sit back and enjoy the program.
Stay tuned.
You welcome. As you all know that marriage is a nuptial agreement between a man and a woman to become husband and wife. Is a contract signed by a man and a woman to become one. But reverse is the case in recent time where divorcement, the dissolution of marriage, is common in our society. We went around the town to know people's view about the word divorcement, the cause, and the solution. Okay, with me I have Mrs. Rumen.
The word divorcement is we can call it separation. Oh, yes, separation.
Can you say the men are the cause of it?
We can't say the men, we can't say the women. It could be from the woman or from the man. Yes.
What is the causes that divorcement can bring to the society?
There are many things. There are many things. We can't mention them all now because they are numerous. Yes. Like vagabond children, like stealing, like a lot of depression, frustration, and so on and so forth. There are many. Can't mention them all.
What is your advice for youth that they are ready to go into the marriage?
Yeah, and my advice for them is that they should wait patiently in the Lord before they will marry. They should allow God to choose for them. They should go in prayer. They should pray to God, because there is a saying that marriage is blind. If marriage is blind, definitely one day it will open one eye. So they should be very, very careful. Pray, wait upon the Lord. First of all, give their life to Christ. Because if they did not know Christ, there is no how. Somebody that you do not know, how can you go to him to help you. So first of all, they should go to Christ. Christ for salvation of their soul. After salvation of their soul, then they talk to him for help. And I believe that God is going to help them. Because without Christ, any life without Christ is full of crisis. So any marriage without Christ is full of crisis.
As a woman, what is your advice for those people who are frustrated, who are ready even to divorce their wife or their husband?
My advice for them is that they should go back to God. That is the manual of our life. You know, a television or any electronics. If you want to know more or detail about that thing, or if you want that thing to stay long, you have to read the manual. They should go back to the manual of their life, which is God, Almighty God, for help. They should not divorce. They should not divorce, because if they allow that, it will affect their children, and if it will affect society in large. So my advice for them is they should go back to God, or go back to Bible believing church for counseling.
I have with me Mr. Bamigboye. He's a staff at a judiciary court. Are you married?
I'm married.
What can you say about the divorcement?
Well, from biblical point of view, if I'm to talk about divorcement, God himself even actually hate divorce, because it was God himself who instituted the marriage. And then when he brought Adam and Eve together, his instruction was that they should be fruitful and multiply. So when a man and a woman decides to come together as husband and wife, we must ensure that they do all things possible to make the marriage work, so that there won't be any reason for crisis in our society, whereby children brought up in a broken home, they tend to impact our society negatively. And then aside that, the reason why divorce is not good is because it makes society to be imbalanced, and then it brings chaos and insecurity to the family at large. So in my own view, I do not support divorce. And having been working here for quite over 10 years now, we see that most of the time the court has no choice than to dissolve a marriage that is not working. But that is not how God planned it to be. The Bible says in the beginning it was not so. So in a nutshell, I do not support divorcement. No, it cuts across all genders. We cannot attribute divorcement in marriage to women or men. Actually, no. The Bible tells us that husbands, love your wife. Before they say, wives, submit yourself unto your husband as unto the Lord. And also said, husband, love your wife. So if we can, imbibe all the ideals and all the instructions in the Bible, there won't be divorce. So the problem in marriages is not largely caused by women or men. So you can't just say that when it comes to the issue of divorce, it is usually caused by women or by men. The two of us need to work collectively together, particularly for our children, so that they will be raised up in a godly home, and they will be useful to the society at large.
Looking at it in the law's angle, can you say that, because you say they can even separate them if the two parties not even ready to be together again, can you now say that this thing cannot even affect our societies?
That's what I'm saying. I think I've said that when there is issues like domestic violence, in the family, most of the time the court will not have any other choice than to dissolve the marriage. Threat to life, incessant quarrel, irreconcilable differences. So most of the time, the court will not have any other choice than to dissolve the marriage. But in the beginning, it was not so.
Can you divorce your wife?
By the grace of God, it's not in my intention. I will never do that by the special grace of God. May God keep our home together in unity. And I will advise young couples to be more loyal to one another. Patience is the key in marriage. Gone are the days where they will tell the man to be patient. The woman too has to be patient. When we consider what is happening in our society right now, economic challenges, social decadence and everything like that, nobody is perfect. And so that is the reason why we need to come together in unity as husband and wife to try and understand each other. When you talk about love, you talk about understanding and trust. And then we young couples should avoid third party interference, and then other things and then they should commit their marriage to the hands of God. That is very, very crucial because, like I said earlier, is an institution ordained by God Himself. So marriage is not the brainchild of any man or a woman. It is ordained by God, and so once you bring God into it, definitely God will always guide and lead us. See the man and the woman, or the husband and the wife through.
Elder Ojedin Isaac.
Okay. Are you married?
Yes.
So what can you say about the cause of divorcement that is rampant during these nowadays?
Mm, thank you. The cause is, firstly, the children of nowadays, they are not searching for the directives of the Lord in marriage before getting to it. So number two, after marriage, many of the couples cannot stick to the foundation of that marriage. Whether there's another thing comes to their way that can make them to derail, like riches, like seeing another person that their minds stick to again. So
Are you saying this fault is from man or the women?
both men and women.
So as an elder, what is your advice for young couples?
Firstly, both the men and women should know the way of the Lord. Stick to the word of the Lord. Search the Bible, search the scripture, and follow up what it means by marriage and what God has for men and women in marriage.
Thank you very much, sir.
It's Segun Olaoye.
Sir, are you married?
Yes, I'm married by the grace of God.
What do you think the cause of divorcement nowadays among young couples?
Uh, the causes may vary. It may vary. It may vary from maybe lack of understanding between the couples. It may also be based on religious grounds as well among the couples. Some couples claim that they are not compatible, and because of that, they want to go and divorce each other. So those are just some of the causes. Maybe a lack of satisfaction. It may be sexual satisfaction. It may be financial lack of financial satisfaction on the part of the woman or the part of the husband.
So, Mr. Shegun, can you leave your wife if she misbehave or maybe she doesn't even capable in terms of sex? In terms of sex.
Uh, I'm a Christian, so the Bible does not encourage divorce. So any misunderstanding that may be between the husband and the wife must be amicably settled. So because of sex or any other reasons, I cannot divorce my wife because the Bible is against divorce.
So, what's your advice for young couples?
For young couple, I will advise them that they have to find a way to settle their dispute amicably, and also they have to find a way to understand each other because their background may differ, and when they come together, there may be some slight differences between the couples. So any differences, whether on religious ground or any other ground, the couples must find a way to settle such differences. So I wouldn't advise any of the couples to divorce each other for any reasons.
My name is Wale Aliyu. Divorce is the breakup between husband and wife. I mean the permanent breakup between husband and wife. That is the meaning of divorce to my own understanding.
What can you say is the cause of this among the couples nowadays?
There are so many causes of divorce, I mean breakup between the couples. But I would like to pinpoint maybe one or two. One is unfaithfulness. When the husband or the wife are not that faithful. When that kind of thing occurs, there may be a permanent breakup. When you cannot trust your wife, or husband cannot trust the wife, or the wife cannot trust the husband. Maybe they are caught with another woman or with another man. That can bring a permanent breakup between man and between husband and wife. There are so many other causes. There are so many other causes on the part of the woman. When the woman is not that loyal to the husband, you know, when you are in courtship, there are so many things you see the woman, the ladies, or even the man do during the period of courtship that they like so much. But once they engage, they married, they stop doing that. They stop doing that, maybe the needless, taking care of home, and so many other things like that. When such a thing happens, it may cause a breakup. And so many other things. By saying during that period of our forefathers, there are so many things our forefathers endure with their wife, which we nowadays men cannot. And even that period, the traditions allow them to marry more than one wife. The moment you see any lapses on your wife, our forefather used to go for another one. Am I communicating? Then with that, it reduce, instead of releasing or break up with that woman, they go for another one. But nowadays, because of the economic situation, we cannot afford to marry two wives. But if you have one that is not, that you think that is not going down well with you, then you have a breakup.
Tolerance and endurance is the most thing in marriage. So you have to endure your partner. So what's about you? Okay, welcome back. I hope you enjoyed the topic. Ayo, what is your say about the word divorcement?
Yes, to me, you know, divorcement, people may think maybe is a common issue. It's not a common issue.
Okay.
Divorcement used to come when you dislike, even when it can happen between friends and friends.
Okay.
But we only base on husband and wife.
So Ayo, can you even leave your wife?
I know.
Why?
No. In fact, if I come in the next generation, I prefer and I pray to marry my wife.
Okay, even me, I can't leave my Olushola. So what about you?
I can't leave my Oluwakemi, man.
Okay, what about you? So that will be all on that social fertility segment. Let's go back to the culture, our culture. You know, yeah. Let's go back to the cultural values of our land.
Yes, we have a lot of festival.
Okay, sit back and enjoy it. Is Olojo Festival.
Olojo Festival is a special event that proves the rich culture of Ile-Ife as the pilot point that later expanded to other Yoruba settlements. On this day, the Oni King of Ife appeared after several days of seclusion and denial, communing with the ancestors and praying for his people. This is to make him pure and ensure the efficacy of his prayers. Before the Oni emerged, women from his matana and palace, symbolically ridding the palace of evil. The Oni later appears in public with the chiefs, while all sons and daughters of Ife files in their numbers to pay him homage, together with all idol worshippers, praying to deities to grant the monarch life longevity with sound health. Few hours later, the Arole Oduduwa reappeared in public with the Are crown, which is believed to be original crown used by Oduduwa to lead a procession of traditional chiefs and priests to perform at the shrine of Ogun. The Are crown is believed to be the original crown used by Oduduwa during his reign in the classical era of Yoruba history. History also holds that the king can only wear the Are crown once in a year, and it is usually during the Olojo festival. This is when the Ooni will lead a procession of traditional chiefs and priests to perform necessary rites at the point of Ogunte. We also led the chiefs with the Are crown to the Okemogun shrine, where he would perform other traditional rites and duties, which include the removal of oath divination for the Ooni at the foot of Oketase Hill, as will be anchored by Araba chief priest. The traditional chiefs with the swords of office marked with chalk and camwood appear in ceremonial attire and dance to rhythm from bembe, a traditional drum. The style of drum and singing for each chief is different. Only the Ooni can dance to the drum called Osirigi. popular in Ile-Ife, the cradle of the Yoruba, because of its myth and history. It connotes the day in the year specially blessed by Olodumare, the creator of the universe. Olojo can also be literally translated as the owner of the day. Prayers are offered for peace and tranquility in Yoruba and Nigeria. On the commencement of Olojo festival, there are usually chants of prayer, Gbajure, 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 Ebo Reafin, Etutu Reada, after which the women enter into Ile Odudua to herald the arrival of Olojo festival, which can be described as the grand festival of all deities in the ancient city of Ile-Ife. Gbajure enchantment will be followed by Ikale, a week long of non-drumming of any kind of traditional drums, because Ooni Arole Odudua has gone incommunicado with the 401 deities who resided in the ancient city of Ile-Ife. The Olojo festival, according to life myth, started with the third Ooni of Ife, Ogun, and it is done in honoring Olodumare, the owner of the day. It is to thank the Supreme Being for his abundance over the entire Yoruba nation, and also seek his blessing, peace, fruitfulness, and longevity of the people. According to history, no one determines the date when the festival should hold in the month of October, but Ooni himself will hear the sound of unseen drums wherever he may be, and that it is time for him to go into seclusion. The primary essence of Olojo festival cannot be overemphasized, as it is the festival that united the people together. It is also a celebration of the deities and of the God of the universe, the owner of the day, for the preservation of the Yoruba race with an abundance of blessing the Creator has bequeathed unto Until another time, when we shall come your way with another beautiful package on this channel, we urge you to stay glued and be enriched with African culture.
Welcome back. I know you enjoyed the program, and the festival teaches their culture heritage. Yes. And it is on this note we'll call it a day on the program AM Plus for today. A big thanks to the man behind the camera, Tosin Adedokun and Ola Olawore. And with me in the studio,
Ayobami Salapo.
Until another time on the program AM Plus, my name is Bukola Olushola, and a big thanks to our executive producer, Mr. Paul Arowolo. So, bye for now.